Good afternoon, designers, and welcome to today's episode of Game of Rugs. I have just come back from spending 2 nights babysitting for Moira's dogs, and what I can tell you about Moira's dogs is that they're a lot quieter than mine. So mine are being noisy dickwads in the background. Sorry about that. Um, Other new things, we have new limited edition items, and I I'm starting to feel like this is super formulaic. Like if we look at oh, I guess we can't look at this closer, but I feel like we've seen these plants in just slightly different planters before. We've seen this like gold speckled rugs with different colorways before. This art in different colors. This for the Onyx Expression one, the triptych photo, the triptych painting, and the other abstract painting next to it. Been there, done that. The rug, like, you can still buy a rug that looks a lot like this one. I just feel like it's not differentiated enough, and I'd actually rather have shitty but different limited edition items. I mean, even when the prizes that you get for leveling up are terrible. Like these level 82 ones are awful. And the level 81 ones weren't that great, and the level 80 ones were boring. The level 79 ones obviously were spectacular, but I feel like there's a lot more variety, and I'd rather have variety that includes shitty than just have a bunch of limited editions week after week that are beginning to feel super repetitive. I mean, this isn't great stuff, but I can use it, and I do use it. I mean, I have made it a challenge to get rid of all of my level prizes, to use everything I win. Um, so anyway, there's that complaint. In other new events, we have shorts. No, I don't want to exit. Okay, so if you go to the YouTube channel, there are all the regular uploads of like the 20-25 minute episodes. But I also have been uploading shorts. I think you need to be a subscriber to have them appear on your YouTube homepage or to get any kind of alerts. I don't really know. But they're there, and you're smart. You can figure it out. I have faith in you. Things that I've done include like just off the cuff observations about rooms. It was cool, very cool to see that they did um, a challenge that included a trans librarian in the last few days of Pride Month. And in the last episode, I think we submitted the Cannon Beach room, and so I collected that score. And they're just 15-20 second episodes or whatever. So those are there. But then today, the thing we're really going to talk about is voting. And we're going to do how voting works. And I have terrible examples, but here we are. We're going to work with what we have. So this is all inspired by this room. And I posted a thread on Reddit saying, is this room going to score well? No. Did I spend my last 4,000 euros buying this rug anyway? Yes. And people were so kind about this room. People piled in to say this room is really great and you should get a 5. So, a couple of things. One, this room is not really great. It would be a much, much stronger room if the couch and chairs were off white instead of gray. But the gray was what I had available as a matching set, and so that's what I went with. I think this also was a daily, so I don't usually go hard for the dailies, but I just liked the sage green walls. My kitchen is this color. I don't know. I had a nice time doing this room, and it's okay that this room is not a 5. However, the other thing is that uh, so many people were so nice to say that this room should get a 5, but that's not how voting works. So we're going to kind of review that today. I don't have a glowing example. Here's this room, a fresh family home. It's really not very good, I'm sorry. But this is the room that we're going to be working at, and then we're going to go compare this room to other rooms. A fresh family home. So this is how voting works. Voting is not like the Olympics. You don't look at a room and assign it a score. You don't look at a room and say that room is perfect 10, give it 10 points. That room is a 4.5. That room is a 3.75. The way it works is that every room starts from the same default score. And since we have scores that range from 2.5 to 5.0, I think that it starts at 3.75. Okay? And then your room, my room is here on the bottom, and the room it appears against in voting is up on the top. So what we're actually doing is not scoring like the Olympics. What we're actually doing is playing higher or lower. Is the room on top better or worse than the room on the bottom? And even though the room on the bottom is not that good, it's still better than the room on top. So we're going to vote for the room on the bottom. And then we get to the next room and we're playing higher or lower. Is this room better or worse than the room on the bottom? And the room on the top is, I mean, it's better. Let's say it's better. Okay. Higher or lower? Is the room on the top higher or lower than the room on the bottom? Is it better or worse? And I think that we could say that the room on the top is better. I think the room on the bottom is better. I think the room on the bottom is better. There's no art and no rugs. And then we do that. Again. Is the room on the top better or worse? We're playing higher or lower here. We're not assigning absolute values to these rooms. Because if I had to assign an absolute value to the room on the top, I'd probably assign it like a 4.1. But all I'm doing is comparing it to the room on the bottom. Is it better or worse than the room on the bottom? And let's say it's worse than the room on the bottom. So we're voting for the room on the bottom. Let's say that they're equal, so there's no change in the vote here. Is this room on the top better or worse than the room on the bottom? Let's say that it's better. Is the room on the top better or worse than the room on the bottom? I think it's worse. So we're going to vote for the room on the bottom. Is the room on the top better or worse than the room on the bottom? I think it's worse. Because the purple and the beige, I'm not a fan. So we're going to vote for the room on the bottom. Okay. So now we've done two rounds of that voting. And our score at the end of that voting for our room is, realistically, it probably should have been higher because at least two of those votes were wrong. I said that the rooms on the top were better than my room on the bottom. I wasn't actually looking at my room on the bottom when I was doing this voting for you. I edited the photo in later, just now, in fact. So let's say that we actually ended up with a 4.25. And that's after 10. Is it 10 rounds of voting that we just did? 10 rounds of higher or lower? And Design Home is the third most popular or the second most popular game in its category. The company makes about $3 billion a year, and hundreds and thousands of people play rooms. More than 1 million people play the daily. Your room is going to get voted on a lot. A lot. Shh, shh, shh. Your room is going to get voted on a lot. There's going to be a lot of higher or lower played on your room. And then it all gets, mathematically averaged out or whatever. So the point that I'm making is that there are so many submissions, and how your room scores is based on luck of the draw. It's entirely based not on the objective value of your room. It's not based on what it should score. It's based on whether your room is more or less appealing to the room it's right next to in voting. That's it. And that is how you end up with rooms that are actual dog shit, that are 5.0s, which I'm sure I have plenty of examples of in my own results. I mean, I have plenty of completely mediocre rooms that got fives. I mean, here's an example. What nothing is exciting about that. What that is a room that in the split second that people spent voting on this room versus another room ticked all the correct boxes. It was visually cohesive, it was well balanced, it used two colors, there was some sort of theme going on or whatever. By the same token, I have gotten I've had rooms that were absolutely beautiful, that I thought should have scored fives, that scored 4.45, because the rooms that it was up against in voting were just better. It just ended up against a lot of rooms that hit higher rather than higher or lower. So that's Sabrina's theory on voting. Please stop looking at a room score as a moratorium on the objective value of that room. It is not. And if you insist on looking at voting that way, you're going to end up pissed off and frustrated. Because that's not how that shit works. You're holding yourself to a metric that is not reflective of reality. And on that happy note, speaking of shitty scores, let's go look at how I'm doing. Do I have any previous exciting scores? I got a 5 on this room. Again, talk about rooms that don't really deserve a 5. This one was pretty phoned in. It's just matching stuff from a level, maybe? And I have nothing else exciting that happened recently. So let's look at Ann Arbor. Okay. I mean, we're spending a lot of time complaining about scores, but a 4.43 is not a bad score. People score from 2.5 to 4, and then a 4 and above. And I think if you're in the 4 and above department, you're doing pretty well. So I had the same idea as loads of other people. Are any of these... Oh my god, what are those floor jars? What is that? Oh, wow. When was that? Did I miss that? Possibly. Maybe it's really old. I don't know, but it's nice. Okay. And what's the next one? Charleston Comforts. This is what I'm saying about how I like even when the level prize art is shit, at least it provides a variety, and I'm excited about that. I actually liked this room. I bought two sets of these chairs in order to be able to put one in every setting, put one in every place. And I also used my last Anthro side chest things. What do you call those? And then I put this art in it. Okay, probably it was the art that plummeted my score. I don't care. I'm using all that art, man. It's free. I love it. Uh, well, some of these are super ugly. That is impressive in its monochromism. Goodness. That one's quite attractive. Good job. Nice matching with all of the wood textures. Good job. And then the art matches the color of the wood textures. Chef's kiss. Perfect design home baiting. That is exactly the kind of thing that brings in the fives. And that's it. So I am off to do the daily. Oh my god, I don't want to win that. Okay, I'm off to struggle with this room. God help me. Am I going to skip today's daily? No. Because what is our motto? Our company motto is bitches like money. So I'm not going to skip today's daily. I'm just going to hate it. And on that happy note, thank you very much for joining me for today's episode of Game of Rugs. I hope your scores were better than mine. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see shorts, please feel free to become a subscriber. We'll see you next week. Bye now.